Well, the main instruments are limitations and verification and transparency. In terms of existing instruments, of course, we have the CFE Treaty, we have the Adaptation Agreement of 1999, we have the Vienna Document, we have Open Skies, and we have sub-regional arms control agreements like the Dayton Agreements. So there's plenty of hard arms control in terms of limitations around. Then we have transparency measures and confidence-building measures which are enshrined in the Vienna Document particularly, but also in other agreed OSCE documents. It still matters because several states believe that their security interests within the OSCE area are not taken duly into account. There are still states that believe that their neighbors or partners in the OSCE communities have intentions or military capabilities that are cause for concern. And the best way out of that remaining security risk they feel is arms control agreements, because they enshrine security guarantees, reassurances, so that the states don't have to be worried afterwards as much as they obviously are now. These are, of course, not the perceptions that are shared by all OSCE states. However, I would hold that even if these perceptions are not shared, they are part of the realities in Europe, so we have to care for that. The main obstacles for the moment are that several states believe that arms control instruments are not relevant anymore. Others might believe that the whole concept of arms control doesn't fit in our time. They want to concentrate on the challenges, security challenges and risks of the 21st century. So to some extent one has to combine both ideas. As I said, perceptions are real, so one cannot just neglect security concerns inside the security community of the OSCE. If we can deal with that in a reasonable way, one might then develop a security identity of the whole community, which is then more focusing on global new security risks. The CFE Treaty as such was designed in 1999 at the end of the Cold War to prevent major offensive options, so they reduced major offensive capabilities by sharp reductions of TLE holdings and by geographical limitations, so that also surprise attacks within certain geographical areas were prevented from taking place. There were flank rules to prevent TLE that were superfluous in Central Europe to appear again at the northern or southern flanks. These were the original rationales. The whole CFE Treaty block was limitation regime, was based on a block-to-block approach, and this concept is obsolete. That has been taken over at latest with NATO's first enlargement at the end of the 90s. It was questioned already when the Warsaw Pact and the Soviet Union collapsed. But at latest, with that enlargement of NATO, it didn't make any sense anymore. That was the reason for the adaptation agreement, to replace former block ceilings, block-to-block limitations, by a system of national and territorial ceilings for every single CFE states party, so that the focus was not on a balance between two blocks, but the focus was now on preventing destabilizing concentration of forces in any part of Europe. Modern warfare certainly has developed beyond the 5 traditional TLE categories, which does not mean that these 5 treaty-limited equipment, that is what TLE means, treaty-limited equipment categories, don't count anymore. In a conventional high-intensity warfare scenario, they still count, as we have seen in several wars around the globe, but also inside Europe in 2008, when here I'm referring to the Caucasus War. On the other hand, modern operational capabilities are centered around net-centric operations. That means they are based on modern information technologies, precise guidance systems for long-range precise strikes. They are also centered around rapid reinforcements or rapid concentration of forces capabilities, which involves air transportation, air mobility, maybe also amphibious forces, and so on. That means all these more new elements of modern warfare are not duly taken into account by the 5 traditional TLE categories. As I said, that doesn't mean that they are invalid or irrelevant. They are still relevant, but they might have to be adapted or some new elements have to be integrated.